Please check the sound settings for audibility by going to mic and speaker section. We'll be taking up questions towards end of the session. Please send your questions to organizer through the questions and chat window. In case we are not able to take up all the questions, we'll respond on your email. So here is the agenda for this webinar. We'll have a brief introduction, a quick introduction on Crestek software systems. Then I'll take up Agile, which is the way to go. I'll talk about Agile and continuous integration. Then I'll move on to security in Agile, how to achieve it, and a proposed solution and architecture for the same. Finally, we'll have a Q&A session towards the end. You know, Crestek is an 8-year-old company with offices across USA, multiple locations in India, Noida and Bangalore, and office in Australia as well. We are a team of 230 plus professionals and subject matter experts. Crestek has experience of 6 years in setting up extended testing teams for clients and handling offshore testing teams for varying sizes, 8 to 20 people for various technology companies like Alvira, Spain, HT Media, Star Management USA, NIT Technologies, and many more. We have 5 provisional patents to our name across our different test solutions and IPs that we have. So that was a quick introduction on Crestek. Now I'll take you to the topic of this webinar, which is continuous security testing in Agile. So, there is a saying that goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Fortunately for cats everywhere, we are not going to skin one. We are simply applying this logic to software development. There are several ways to develop software. It started with waterfall, it moved on to iterative, and now it's Agile. It's true that waterfall methodology stresses meticulous record keeping and gives an idea of the size, cost, and timeline for the project. In fact, waterfall was the standard for large complex system development for many years, but it has several notable flaws. The first is that a lot of work is wasted trying to complete documents before designs and designs before code, even though it is a well-known fact that the requirements will change over time. And the second flaw is, in holding off on testing and integration until the end of a project. The issues are frequently discovered too late to be resolved without causing missed deadlines. So Agile came about as a solution to the disadvantages of the waterfall methodology. Instead of a sequential design process, the Agile methodology follows an incremental approach. Developers start off with a simplistic project design and then begin to work on small modules. The work on these modules is done in weekly or monthly sprints. At the end of each sprint, there are so there are discussions and sessions to discuss project priorities, and tests are run. And these sprints allow for bugs to be discovered and customer feedback to be incorporated into the design before the next sprint is run. So Agile is the way to go. Now there are certain factors as in why Agile. The Agile methodology allows for changes to be made after the initial planning. Rewrites to the program as the client decides to make changes are expected. Number 2, because the Agile methodology allows you to make changes, it's always easier to add features that will keep you up to date with the latest developments in your industry. Number 3, at the end of each sprint, project priorities are evaluated. This allows clients to add their feedback so that they ultimately get the product they desire, and hence the acceptability of the product increases manifolds. 4, the testing at the end of each sprint ensures that the bugs are caught and taken care of in the development cycle. They won't be found at the end. So it leads to early identification and fixing of bugs. And because the products are tested so thoroughly with Agile, there comes number 5, which is the product could be launched at the end of any cycle. The increase, the frequency of stable releases increase while we are working in an agile methodology. And finally, it definitely leads to faster time to market. Overall time reduces, you get more stable releases that go to clients, and eventually the time to market reduces. So, Agile has been often criticized for its collaborative nature that focuses on principles rather than process. But believe me, Agile is the way to go, and there is no doubt about it. More than 70% of the projects will follow Agile in next 2 to 3 years. Now, coming to Agile and continuous integration. If you ask me, continuous integration is the best thing that could have happened in Agile technology. Without continuous integration, Agile would not be as successful as it is in the current scenario. Typically because traditional software development methods don't dictate how frequently or regularly you integrate all the source on a project. Programmers can work separately for hours, days, or even weeks on the same source without realizing how many conflicts they are generating. But if we talk about Agile teams, because they are producing robust code each iteration, typically they would not like to be slowed down by the long difference resolution and debugging sessions that often occur at the end of long integration cycles. The more programmers are sharing the code, the more problematic this becomes. So for these reasons, Agile teams therefore choose to use continuous integration. When CI works well, it helps in code stay robust enough so that customers and other stakeholders can play with the code whenever they like. This eventually speeds the flow of development work overall. It in fact encourages more feedback between programmers and customers that help the team get things right before iteration deadlines. So skillful continuous integration means that integration is never a headache because your work reflects only slight divergence from the code base. If the team regularly deals with the small scale divergences, they never have to deal with truly scary ones. However, like refactoring, continuous integration works well if you have an exhaustive suite of automated unit tests that ensures that you are not committing any buggy code. And having said that, continuous integration also comes with a overhead. So we'll see in the upcoming slides how to handle that overhead when we talk about Agile and continuous integration. So before we move forward, I would like to emphasize on what is being addressed as a part of this webinar. Security as Agile and security in Agile can very well sound similar in the context, but there is a difference. What we are going to talk here is about how security can be made a part of an already Agile setup, and not about the methodology in which security testing can be done in an Agile fashion. So I'll start with a traditional Agile approach. How it happens when we talk about security in Agile or security in traditional Agile. So before that, web application security is a key top of the mind concern for general managers, CISOs, CIOs, and security staff. Almost 70% of the vulnerabilities disclosed each month shows information security teams the importance of focusing on web app security. Now, current methods of addressing the application security focuses on improving the security process at the end of software development lifecycle. So if you look at this diagram, there is a product backlog and there are multiple sprints which are planned in this Agile development cycle. The initial 2 are the design sprints, while the next 4 are the development sprints. and towards the end there is a system integration or a UAT phase. Now in this traditional agile approach, security testing used to play a role or comes into the picture when the integration testing is going on, or when there is a UAT going on, when there is a deployment going on. However, this is not the right way to go. You know, why this is not the right way to go? Because in my opinion, or rather what I have seen in my experience is that earlier the security bugs were less. You know, if I talk about a couple of years back, security was not that prominent, and when the bugs were less, it didn't impact the overall product lifecycle much, be it the effort, be it the timelines, or be it the cost. But with ever increasing rise in the security threats, with the evolution of technology and this increase in cyber threat, today the cost of fixing the bugs at the end of life cycle has become much higher. I was executing a project for one of the clients some time back and found that just one bug identified during end of security testing created an impact of 27% in terms of changes required in the application, and the project release got delayed by 3 months. So that is the kind of impact that we see today in comparison to the scenario that was earlier. So today the importance of security testing has moved at par to the functional or automation testing of an application. Now to address these challenges, a process of continuous assessment for applications in development environment is required. Due to this unceasing onslaught of hackers employing new methods to get valuable customer data, organizations simply must understand that securing web applications is not a one-time event, but a discipline of testing and retesting. In other words, continuously over an application's life cycle is what is required. Without continuous testing, there is no hope of truly getting ahead and staying on top of 400 plus threats that come out every month in the cyberspace. And hence, a left shift is required in the placement of security testing in this traditional agile cycle. With this left shift, the tests will be performed with every sprint. And this is the way to see it now, or how it should be. With this left shift, it will minimize the cost of fixing issues by identifying bugs early with each build that is released for testing. In fact, the threat coverage will maximize because now there will be granular tests as well as integration tests that will execute on the application. So having said that, in this overall picture, now how can we fit security tests at different sprints or different sprint cycles in this overall delivery of this product backlog? So during design, when I say design, that also includes the architecture and the prototype. So during design sprints, client-side validations and UI level security checks can be performed. So tests for vulnerabilities at HTML level or browser level can be performed and fixed in the initial phase of development sprints. So whatever issues are identified, whatever design issues are identified here related to HTML pages can be fixed early into the development sprints, and that could lead to a significant save in the amount of time or design changes that might be required later on. So vulnerabilities such as cross-site scripting, known browser threats that can impact your application, JavaScript validations, UI input validations such as the permissible input length of the text boxes, and certain certificate level issues can be tested during design sprints itself. So here are typical threats that can be evaluated or testing right in the design phase. Now, for example, to prevent cross-site scripting, input of special characters can be restricted at the front end itself. Security of cookies on the browser side can be validated. Security of data being cached by the browser can be validated. And if you look statistically, 10% of the bugs can be identified at the design, at the client side in the UI validation stage itself. So that saves a significant amount of effort, time required for these fixes to be made later into the development lifecycle. Now, once this is done, the code enters into the development sprints. So after the design sprints, we have development sprints. And during these development sprints, there can be a round of white box analysis and black box testing along with code reviews with each sprint. So as soon as a code is checked in, automatic security scans run on the code to identify threats at application level or at the code level. There are security standards that are typically followed to identify all the possible threats in web apps. Standards such as OWASP, SANS, and Web Application Security Consortium. So there are more than 30 categories of threats that can exist in the web application. And the critical ones are listed out here. These tests will execute at all level. I mean, they'll scan the application for SQL injections. They'll identify DOS attacks. They'll identify brute force attacks. They'll identify session mismanagement issues. They'll identify any insecure data storage and transfer. They'll try to exploit buffer overflows and remote file inclusions. So with every sprint, these tests are run on the application. They can be configured as per the functionality which is to be released or which is to be deployed within that particular sprint, or which is coming out as an end product in that particular sprint. So these tests can be customized to test only those functionalities or those particular areas in the application. Finally, when all the sprints are complete and the application moves into the UAT or deployment phase, end-to-end penetration tests can be performed to certify the product backlog before it moves into the production. So in this cycle, there will be tests to certify server misconfigurations, authentications and authorization checks. Besides, a complete cycle of tests will be performed, including tests for UI as well as code level threats. So now here what we saw is that we can typically divide our sprint cycle into design and development sprints, and we can even categorize our tests based on client side or UI validations, or whether we want to go for black box or white box tests, depending upon which sprint we are. And towards the end, we'll have an end-to-end penetration testing that will cover the complete end-to-end scenario that we used to typically do in the traditional agile approach. So now the question is, having talked about this, having talked about how security fits into agile, how to achieve it? Or first of all, let's understand, what could be the mode of execution of security tests when we make it a part of agile cycle. And as in functional testing, there can be two modes of execution, manual as well as automated. But here also these two modes hold applicable, but both of them seem to have its own challenges. Now if you say manual, yes, it is possible, but do you want to go that way? I mean, wouldn't it impact your sprint duration? Wouldn't it create a dependency on the security professionals? Wouldn't it create a conflict with what is the typical nature of agile projects, in which a continuous integration plays a role and things have to go on very, very fast? So I don't think manual could be a possible way to achieve it successfully and effectively. And hence the second mode, which is the automated mode, holds good when we say, or when we try to implement security in an agile fashion, or when we try to include security in a already agile setup. Now we'll see on the next slide how an architecture with a automation setup is feasible. So here is a typical architecture or a proposed architecture that I feel fits into the complete situation when we go for an automated kind of a mode for security testing here. So there are developers who check in changes to a source control server, which is a step 1 in Agile. Then as a next step, these changes are transferred to a continuous integration server. Now from here, the role of an automated security setup begins. So this is a very typical Agile setup. Now how to fit in security into this is what comes next. So we have an automated deployment on a test server. We have a test server with us on which this continuous integration server will, as soon as there is a patch or as soon as there are changes that come to the CI server and it is ready, there is an automated deployment that goes on to the test server. Now this CI server triggers security tests that can be black box or white box based on what kind of test is required. Now, if you see, there are configuration files here that eventually decide what type of test you have to perform, and this information comes when a developer checks in changes, and these changes eventually come to the CI server that decides what type of test we now want to run. You can just run a simple test that could be for a cross-site scripting or a SQL injection. You can plan to go for a quick test, just scanning top 50 URLs in the application. You can, in case it's a big change that is coming up, you can plan to go for an exhaustive scan that would cover the entire, build that will run across the entire application setup. So that's for CI server to decide based on what is, what type of changes are coming in this particular sprint cycle. And hence the CI server triggers a security tests which run on this test server. So these tests will be carried out on the application which is deployed on the test server, and once the tests are complete, all the results will eventually go back to the machine or to the system on which an analyzer is there or a dashboard is there that would be eventually used to compile all the results and finally send all the results and bugs back to the CI server. So this is how in an automated fashion we can integrate security into the existing Agile environment. And finally, once all the results and bugs are there with the CI server, there are notifications of success and failures that goes to the managers and other stakeholders in the team. So this is a typical architecture that we think fits in for security in Agile. Now, having said this, how about what is the way to now perform these white box tests or black box tests? So this was a typical architecture. Now we have to look for solutions, as in what are the possible ways to do these tests in this particular environment. One possible way is to have dedicated commercial tools, but do you think this is feasible? They are really expensive tools. I mean, there are tools that supports continuous integration that fits into Agile environment, but it's good if you can afford them. But most of the companies or most of the customers I have seen, they could not work on these commercial tools because of the the expensive nature or the cost associated with these tools. The second option with us is the open source tools. Now, open source is definitely a way out of it, but then it has its own challenges. Most of these open source tools do not give sufficient coverage when they are operating in a individual fashion. For example, one open source tool would be would have its strength in identifying cross-site scripting issues. Another one would have its strength in identifying injection flaws. These tools are even based upon the kind of technology or the technology of the application on which they are operating. So they are biased on that as well. So that's one challenge. The second is most of them do not give flexibility to integrate with CI servers. So having said this, I mean, dedicated commercial tools are expensive. Open source tools do not give you the flexibility and coverage. So what can be a feasible solution? Now, how we can achieve this? What is a possible way out? And in my opinion, or the way we try to handle this problem was through a cloud-based security platform. I mean, if I talk about black box tests, we have tried to resolve this problem. We have tried to accommodate this challenge using our cloud-based security platform. And why a cloud-based security platform is simply because these platforms are on demand. A cloud-based platform is on demand, so there is no need for a tool purchase or any dedicated infra setup. So it saves a lot of capex. You do not have to invest into expensive tools. And secondly, they enable simultaneous access to different teams and product groups within the organization. So, when we dealt with this situation, we came out with a cloud-based security platform, particularly for carrying out black box tests for web applications, and hence we designed our own platform, which is one of its kind platform till today, and we call it CSAC. So CSAC is our cloud-based security assessment platform for web applications. It's an integrated platform built over a repository of open source tools. The key part of, or rather the strength of CSAC is that there is a intelligent engine that runs in the backend. There is a intelligence that we have created in the backend that helps in optimizing the coverage, or that helps in giving the maximum coverage by working with a group of tools, not just one tool. So depending upon the type of scan that you want to run, one or more tools participate in the scan to identify maximum threats in the application and report it back to the user. So, CSAC, it's the easiest security testing alternative, and it has been designed to integrate in agile environment. Number two, it gives you the power of best-in-breed open source security solutions from one platform. You need not worry about deploying multiple open source tools independently, how to run them, how to integrate them with CI servers. That's all been taken care of under a single platform, which is CSAC. And finally, you do not need anything special to know about security testing when you're working with CSAC. So it's a very easy to use platform wherein even the business users, even people who do not have a security testing background can easily perform steps to schedule a scan on their application. I would request you all to visit www.testimcloud.com and have a better look at the CSAC platform. So that's pretty much on the webinar that I have, or the area that I was trying to explain, how to integrate or bring security testing into a continuous integration environment or into an agile environment. And that can be typically done, just to summarize the points, first of all, it's absolutely feasible. We need to, today's demand is to deviate from traditional ways of doing security testing. There is a need for security testing in every sprint so that the bugs can be identified early. The cost of fixing those bugs can be reduced drastically, and the timelines are not impacted. Then if I talk about the methodology or the mode of execution, it's definitely not feasible or not effective in a manual approach. Doing manual tests for security testing would eventually not cater to the success criteria of an agile implementation that we are doing. So it has to be automated. Now, to bring automation into picture, the architecture needs to support that automation or that security automation in the overall deployment. So for that, there needs to be a test server on which the deployment of the application will happen. There will be some tools, black box and white box, or a solution that will run tests on that particular piece of code deployed on the test server. The results will all be analyzed and sent back to your CI server and notified from there. Now, going a step further, how to identify what is the right kind of tool or solution to perform these black box or white box tools. Working with dedicated commercial tools is an expensive solution. Working with open source tools has its own challenges. There are no one tool gives you sufficient coverage or threat coverage to deal with all the vulnerabilities. They would not extend support for integration with CI servers. Hence, one of the feasible solutions or one of the good solutions that we implemented was to go for a cloud-based platform for black box testing. And this was the reason we implemented CSAC, came up with a integrated platform that works on a repository of open source tools. It has an intelligence build that decides on what type of scan to run, what all tools to use depending upon what type of run has been scheduled by the users. It gives you the flexibility to integrate it with your agile environment, your CI servers, and it does not make you dependent upon your security experts. Even the business folks in the team can easily work with CSAC to perform security testing in an agile environment. So we can have questions now. Just so we are moving to the chat window or the questions window. All right, so there is a question, are you using any third-party software for automated security testing? Well, yes. I mean, as I already mentioned in my slides, for automated security testing, it's really important to have some automated solution. Now that can be achieved through open source or through a commercial tool which is available in the market and can be directly used. But none of these solves the purpose. The reasons are quite obvious. Commercial tools are expensive. Open source tools do not give you that flexibility and increases an overhead for the teams that are implementing it. So the best way is to go for a cloud-based solution. And in our case, we developed our own cloud-based platform to handle this kind of a situation. All right. Yeah, so we have another question. So what type of scans can be configured? All right. There can be different type of scans that you can configure. Now, if I talk about an agile, approach or an agile situation, it is like, say some part of functionality is coming in as a part of sprint 1, and you would like to just run cross-site scripting on that particular functionality, or say you are in a design sprint and you want to test your application only for cross-site scripting issues. So with CSAC, we give you the flexibility to schedule different type of scans on the application. For example, you can just schedule a cross-site scripting scan, and as I mentioned in the architecture, the changes that you are telling to the CI server will actually decide what type of test to run. So if you specify that only cross-site scripting changes are reflected or are to be tested, the tests will run accordingly, and the results will come up and show it will get analyzed, and all the bugs will be recorded in a bug management tool. We have another question from okay. So CSAC is available on SaaS-based model or license-based. So currently CSAC is its public version is hosted directly on testoncloud.com. It's a SaaS-based platform. It's a SaaS-based model. There is no license version yet, but we are working on a release. We are working on a license-based model of CSAC, and will be out with it within a month's time. So you can log in. There are some easy steps to do the registration, and you can start directly using it from there. As a part of first-time registrants, we we provide 3 scans for free that you can use to perform quick scans on your application. All right, so I think we are very much done with this webinar. Rest of all of the questions, in case they are left unanswered, we'll respond back on the emails. Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your time attending this webinar. In case you have any queries, you can drop in a mail directly to the organizer of the webinar and we'll respond back to your queries. Thank you very much. Thanks again.